odd streak of lighting across my neck. If I'm over here, it's like on my face, and if I'm here, I don't know. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. I don't know why I didn't just do this from the start. And should I re-record all that? No, it'll be all right, I think. Hello, my beautiful wild mothers. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, then hello, welcome. My name is Tori from the blog wildmotherlife.com. And on my channel here, I make videos all about motherhood inspired by nature, which includes topics like eating a nourishing traditional foods diet, keeping your family healthy with herbs and natural remedies, and respectful conscious parenting. So I'm so happy that you're here. And if you're interested in those topics, then I think you'll love the rest of my videos on my channel. So I'd love it if you click the subscribe button. I just want to take a sec to apologize in advance for this odd streak of lighting across my neck. I'm sitting here in front of a window and it's nice like evening light coming through right now, and I'm realizing that it's not ideal because if I'm over here it's like on my face, and if I'm here I don't know. So we're just gonna go with this because my husband is keeping the kids right now so that I could sit and record this video while it's light outside. So let's dive into the video. Today I want to talk to you all about how to help your toddler adjust to having a new baby, a new sibling in the house. Okay, so I just had a baby. Well, I mean, it was like almost 6 months ago, back in October. And my toddler actually took the transition really well. I was pleasantly surprised. And I was very intentional with a lot of things for what I did to try to help our transition go very smoothly, and it did. And now that I'm 5 months postpartum, I feel like it's a good time for me to go ahead and share the tips and the strategies that I used with my toddler both before birth and after birth to help her adjust to her role of being a big sister and having a smaller new baby brother. So yeah, I just want to give you my tips. And you know, giving your child a baby sibling is like, of course, one of the best gifts that you can give them long term, but there is always an adjustment period, and it will probably take some planning to help your toddler be able to adjust and help everything go smoothly. So I hope that these tips will help you if you're pregnant or if you just had a baby and you're looking for tips on how to help older toddlers, older siblings adjust to new baby. Let's get started. Okay, so things that you can do to help prepare your toddler before the birth of the baby. So I believe, and in my experience as a mother, preparation is key for helping toddlers adjust to anything new. So my daughter thrives when she knows what the plan is going to be. So before really we have like anything happen in the day, like in the morning or before we have a big event or before a transition, you know, toddlers typically have trouble with transitions. I always talk her through exactly what's going to happen so that she has plenty of time to know what to expect and know what the plan is, and that always helps our transitions go so easier. So I basically took that same thing and put it on a big scale for helping her adjust to having a new baby sibling. So some of the things that I did was I read books about pregnancy and birth to her. And I actually had a home birth. So I really was intentional to prepare her for what labor and what birth would look like in our home because she was going to be there. But I think even if you're not having a home birth, just reading books about like the process of labor and how the baby's growing and like what birth is, so they know like how the baby comes out and they don't just think like the baby's going to fly out of your tummy, you know? So they know like everything that's going to happen. I think that helps them feel very like bonded to you, and the baby helps them make the connection. Toddlers are smart, okay? Way smarter than a lot of people give them credit for, and they can definitely understand birth. And when birth is normalized, I think that they think it's normal, you know? Birth is normal. And so when birth is normal in your house, it's normal to your children. And so I think that helping the child be able to have a smooth bond with their baby sibling can start when the baby's still in your belly, talking about pregnancy and labor and birth with them. Another thing I did, and another tip that I have, is to allow your children, your toddler, to be involved in your prenatal care and your birth as much as you can. So my toddler loved going to my midwife appointments with me. She loved helping measure my belly and listen to the baby's heartbeat. And I really think that that helped her feel bonded to the baby. And I've talked about this in another video on my channel, but one of the main reasons actually that I chose home birth was because I really wanted my toddler to be involved, because having a baby and giving birth and having a baby is a very intimate time as a family. It's very bonding, and my toddler's part of our family, so I wanted her to be involved in that special connection and that special bonding time that we had with the baby right immediately after the baby's born, you know, like that golden hour. I wanted her to be able to be there for that and to watch the process of labor and birth happen, so that she would be able to make the connection, like, oh, this is mom giving birth, and this is my new baby brother that just came out, just like mom told me that the baby would in the books that we read. And I feel like that helps the kids make the connection a little bit easier, rather than being like, oh, mom and dad left when mom was in labor, and then like 3 days later they came back and the baby's here, and kind of having more of a disconnection when you like go to the hospital. I'm definitely not hating on hospital births, because I had a hospital birth with my first daughter, so if that's your plan, totally just prepare your toddler for it. I think that is fine, and that toddlers can adjust to anything really with proper connection and preparation with a securely attached adult figure. So yeah, but I was just sharing about why I chose home birth, but that's not what this video is about. So anyway, moving on to the next point. I recommend that you read books about having a new baby. You know, of course, toddlers love books, and I think any book about like being a big sister, being a big brother, having a baby sibling, can be a great way to help them get prepared. Oh man, that lighting is so much better. Man, I'm sorry. I should have just scooched over from the very beginning. Oh well, I'm just not gonna worry about it. And I'm gonna continue on with this video. So enjoy this better lighting with no streaks from the window. So the next tip that I have that I did with my toddler is to talk about what they were like as a baby and what to expect the baby to do. If your toddler hasn't been around babies much, then they probably know nothing really about babies and what they're like. So you could just show them pictures and videos of when they were a little baby and tell them funny things that they did and cute things they did and what they liked. And then also talk to them about what to expect with the baby, you know, like, is the baby gonna cry? Why does the baby cry? Baby cries to communicate with us. We're gonna have to change her. Here's what, you know, diapers, here's where she's gonna sleep. And then my last tip for before the baby arrives and before the birth is to get your new routine set up before the baby comes, because transitions and routines and welcoming a new baby is just, they can be rough for toddlers because it's a big adjustment. And so you don't want to be throwing in any extra transitions that you don't have to during that time. So I recommend, if you're trying to potty train, already having the baby potty train, the toddler like potty trained beforehand, and if not, don't sweat it and just keep them in diapers until, you know, you've established a good routine after the baby is born. Or like if you're trying to transition your child to their own room, then try to do that before the baby's born. If you're trying to night wean or anything like that, just do it before the baby comes, so that there's as few transitions and adjustments that the toddler needs to go through as possible. All right, so here are the things that I did for my toddler after our birth, after the baby was born, to help her adjust to having a new baby. So number one is to remind them that there is plenty of love for everybody, and that the baby did not steal any of your love for them. It can feel scary when all of a sudden there's a new baby that mom is holding and carrying all the time and showing a lot of affection to, and everybody's giving a lot of attention to the baby. And we want our toddlers to make sure and to be very clear and know that we still love them just as much as we did before, and the baby didn't take any of our love away from them. Didn't replace them at all. So the way that I like to illustrate this concept to my daughter, and she's 2.5, she was around 2 when the baby came, is I talk about the concept of that I have pockets in my heart. So I have different pockets, and I have a pocket full of love for Elowen because she's my little girl, and I have another pocket that's full of love for Rowan because he's my little boy, and then I have a pocket full of love for Daddy, and then I have a pocket full of love for myself. She helps me add that one. So I list my pocket for everybody in our family and talk about all the love that's in each pocket. And I just say, we have so much love in our family. There's enough love for everybody. And I just would say that to her like every night or multiple times a day sometimes, because she really loved the concept, and she'd be like, tell me about your pockets. And I think that it made sense to her. I think that she liked the visual description that, hey, mommy still has the pocket full of love for me, and there's a pocket full of love for Rowan. There's plenty of love for everybody. So I think that really helped, and I recommend doing something like that. It's just an easy picture and visual to help your toddler be able to understand that there's enough love to share and that the love just keeps growing. Okay, next is to normalize feelings of jealousy as they come and to acknowledge all emotions. So it is to be expected that your toddler may have a tough transition as the baby arrives. This is normal and very developmentally appropriate for these feelings to happen in a toddler. So I always did my best to normalize the feelings for my toddler so that they didn't take her by surprise, because jealousy can be a strong feeling, especially for toddlers who probably haven't really felt that feeling before. So I would say something like, hey babe, it's totally normal for you to be feeling like this because I know that I'm holding the baby a lot and you probably want me to be holding you a lot too, right? I think that a lot of toddlers probably feel this way. It's really normal for you to feel sad about this, and I know it's a big adjustment. It's okay to feel sad, or it's okay for me to want you to hold you a lot. I love you so much and I'm always here for you, like whenever you feel angry or sad about this. And just trying to show a lot of empathy and compassion and let her feelings be as they were, let them be valid, and just tell her that it's okay, it's normal, like everything's gonna be okay, you know? So I definitely think acknowledging any emotion that your child has as they come is important to do so that they feel seen and heard and connected and bonded to you. Another tip I have is to try to spend a little bit of one-on-one time with them every day, even if it's just while the baby is napping, because when they're newborns they nap a lot in the day. So while the baby's napping, you guys read books together and eat a snack together, maybe just something that is special and can help them feel seen and included. It's hard for the baby to be getting a lot of attention, and it's hard for the toddler when that's happening. So just make sure that your toddler feels loved and seen and still appreciated, and that you're still doing some of the same one-on-one time or routines that you were before as much as you can. I also recommend giving them lots of physical affection, because watching you hold the baby all the time can be really hard for them. So giving as many like hugs and kisses as you can. I know some kids, they really need a lot of physical affection during the transition. So definitely do what you need to do for your own like mental health, because postpartum is a very tender time. And so it's definitely easy to feel torn in many directions between your two kids, and then also feeling touched out. So definitely put boundaries in place when you need to, but also, you know, make sure that you're making an effort to give them physical affection when it comes up and they need it. Another tip is to allow them to explore the baby in their own time with no pressure. Don't put like expectations on them that they need to hold the baby or want to love and kiss and touch and talk to the baby, because if they don't feel like doing those things, then they might feel like they're disappointing you, which could lead to even more sadness and tantrums, because that's a lot of heavy stuff for a toddler. So just keep it chill. You can always ask and offer for them to, if they want to interact with the baby, but if they don't, like totally no pressure for them, I think is a good approach to have. On the flip side of that, another tip is to offer to let them help you care with the baby, which I think most parents will naturally do, but offer to let them help with diaper changes and with feeding. They can bring you diapers, they can bring you wipes, you can talk them through what you're doing, they can help with the baby during bath time, anything like that to help them feel more involved in the process of caring for the new baby. Another thing to do is consider having some special toys that are specifically for them to use while you're nursing the baby. I know nursing can be a time when toddlers can have a difficult time and have a lot of feelings and emotions, whether they're still nursing or whether they're not and you wean them or whatever. Just watching you have that closeness of the new baby, like with your body and nursing them, and they're probably remembering how much they loved nursing, how much they loved milk. It can bring a lot of those feelings up. So maybe getting some special toys in a little box that is just the nursing time box, that's specific for them to just be able to do while they sit next to you and do it while you feed the baby, could be a really fun thing to help them not feel like resentful toward the baby. Another thing to consider, and obviously you need to use your own discretion with this, but is to try to limit how much you say, be careful, to your toddler around the baby. It's tough because in my experience, like with a little girl, I think girls tend to maybe be a little bit more gentle, like stereotypically, than toddler boys. But even still with boys, you want to keep the newborn safe, of course, but you also don't want to discourage your toddler from trying to interact with their baby in their own way. So there have been a couple times where I'm like biting my tongue because my toddler, she's of course not meaning to be rough, and she isn't being too rough, but I know like if she takes it a couple steps further, then it could be too rough. And so just kind of biting my tongue and, you know, waiting a little bit to see like, okay, is this going the direction of being too rough, or is she good and she's just like interacting and it seems a little rough in my mind. You know, she loves to like get up in his face and like give him kisses and all sorts of things. And so I knew that if I was constantly saying, oh, be careful, back up, be careful, you know, that could really probably frustrate her and discourage her from interacting with the baby and maybe cause resentment. So I try to be really intentional with my be carefuls. I don't actually think I said it at all. I probably did say like, oh, gentle, like that, in a really sweet, like kind voice. But I think gentle is a good reminder. And honestly, I should probably make a video about this, but be careful specifically doesn't really help toddlers at all because they don't really know what it means, and it's just kind of like a phrase. I think it can be better to give specific advice for what we do or don't want them to do. So instead of saying, oh, be careful, you could say, oh, let's use a gentle hand on his cheek, or oh, here, lean up your body a little bit, we don't want to smush him, or oh, here, let's sit down on the bed instead of bouncing by where the baby's laying. Different things like that that are a little bit more practical and helpful for the toddler than just the phrase be careful that could actually frustrate them. Another tip is to get them their own baby doll so that they can be caring for their baby while you're caring for your baby, for the new baby. I know that my toddler has a baby doll and she loves to nurse her baby while I'm nursing Rowan, which is really, really sweet. She actually carries her baby everywhere, goes to the store with us, and she loves just carrying the baby exactly the same way that I'm carrying Rowan, and she always looks up at me to see how I'm interacting with Rowan, and she interacts with her baby doll the exact same way. So it's super, super cute, and definitely recommend getting a doll for your toddler, whether they're a girl or a boy, so that they can practice taking care of their baby too. If possible, and I know this isn't going to be possible for everybody, but I do recommend having one parent who can be dedicated to the toddler for the majority of the day, at least in your immediate postpartum, as much as you can, especially the first week or two. Trying to have your partner be the sole caretaker of your toddler so that you can have plenty of time and space to be able to bond with your baby and also recover from your birth, and then your toddler doesn't feel left out because they're getting lots of one-on-one time with daddy or whoever. And if that's not possible, then an idea is that you could try to have a friend or family member come over like a couple days a week and take your toddler out and do something fun, like go to the park or go to a kids museum and just spend that time with them so that they feel, you know, included, like they're getting something special. So I guess my last tip is, oh look, the line of light is back. I guess my last tip is just to expect that your toddler is going to have a hard time because this is a big transition in their life. They're used to being the only one, and it's a lot for a little toddler. And so I recommend just showing them lots of grace, having lots of empathy, lots of cuddles, lots of love and attention, and also showing yourself grace, because like I touched on before, postpartum is a very vulnerable and a very tender time, and you probably have a lot of people that are coming and wanting to meet the new baby, and it can be very overwhelming for you as a mom. And also trying to divide your time now between two kids when you're trying to be you know, a conscious parent and respond intentionally to both a baby and a toddler, and your hormones are trying to readjust, and you're trying to get sleep and recover from birth, and it can just be a lot. So show yourself lots of grace, show your toddler lots of grace, and get help when needed. So yeah, I think those are all my tips, and I hope that they helped you. I hope that you are able to implement some of them to help your toddler adjust to having a new baby, and I hope that everything goes smoothly. So if this video helped you, then I'd love if you comment below and let me know what tip you're going to try to implement to help your toddler. And definitely please follow me on Instagram if you're interested. It's at Wild Mother Life, and I post lots of great content over on my Instagram too. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your week. Stay wild, mamas.